Hello, my name is Nadja Tao, and I've been doing a series of conversation starter questions. Today's question is from conversationstartersguru.com, and it is: how do you approach understanding perspectives vastly different from your own? Well, the first thing that I try to do is I try to figure out how logical the perspective is. I might have to ask some probing questions to get a feel for what's going on. But if the perspective doesn't seem logical or true, that leads me to start probing in another direction, which is emotion. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of emotion is motivating this person to think the way they do. And from there, I might start probing into this person's personal history a little bit. If it's a hot take, there's probably some kind of trauma or some kind of conditioning going on. If the person's thoughts aren't very original, I might assume that they got sucked into some kind of community online. If it's a little more original, or if it seems really personal, I might be inclined to assume that some kind of trauma or some kind of personal experience um, might be mixed in there. But I think it's always much more important to listen in a non-judgmental, non-critical way to start off with, at least, because um, you you at least want to know the truth behind what's really going on. I think that trying to dominate with your opinion will eventually backfire in a longer term relationship. And I think it's good to assume that you'll see the person again, and that you might need something from them. One problem I have uh, is that I tend to get stuck in listen mode when a part of a real give and take kind of relationship involves communicating your own thoughts as well. Um, if it becomes clear that the person is not at all interested in my perspectives, which happens a surprising amount of the time, I leave eventually. But I think it's good not to hide your opinions. At least not if you want a real relationship with somebody. But I think that tunneling down into why someone is um, is thinking the way they do, beyond being a bad person or something like that, is a habit that's good to cultivate. It's not easy to tunnel down into why beyond they're just a bad person. It takes more time. It takes some thought, and you have to hope that you just have some kind of insight a lot of the time. But it's better than being unable to understand different perspectives. I think something that drives me crazy are people who just can't generate alternative enough alternative possibilities to um, rationalize someone else's point of view, whether that's due to emotional blockages or lack of imagination. I think a lot of people struggle to rationalize why somebody else thinks the way they do, without it again just going back to them being a bad person. Sometimes I feel as though um, I can do this, but I feel like a lot of people won't try to extend the same effort to me. Um, I don't know if that's true or not. That's how I feel sometimes. Um, One example of generating a list of possibilities um, is if somebody says they can't work and need food stamps. I was talking with somebody who has a really creative mind the other day, and she was able to say stuff like someone not be able to work because they're drug addicts and they're working through trauma, or they might have learning disabilities that prevent them from getting a high paying job. or they might have transportation problems, or they might not have the energy levels to work full time. She listed so many ideas, and it's just weird to me that we live in a world with literature and music and art and movies and social media. And through all those things, you really get a sense of the variety of people that are in the world and the huge differences in the experiences that they've had in life. Yeah, but still, a lot of people can't come up for reasons for why somebody would be different from them. And I suspect that there's probably an emotional stake in it for them to shut down alternative thinking. Like maybe that means they might have to change, and then who would they be? Or maybe they're just like happy with their opinion and it's irritating to go back over something that they've decided for themselves. I mean, to be fair, I'm often in that mode. I'm often lazy with my thinking too. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts. And I just wanted to add one more thing to kind of balance this video out a little bit more. I think some people almost have the opposite problem of not being able to generate possible rationalizations for why someone thinks the way they do. Some people add associations and assumptions that aren't necessarily there. And so they might, in their mind, misrepresent something that was said based on um, how that perspective made them think of something else, but that something else isn't necessarily truly connected. Um, but yeah, that's my video. If you have anything you would like to say about anything I've said in this video, or if you have an answer of your own to the question, how do you approach understanding perspectives vastly different from your own? Please leave that in the comments section. Please like or dislike. Please subscribe. And I hope to see you in another video.